Welcome to Goat versus Fish. Mighty VsDay. Mighty VsDay to Goat versus Fish. Are you ready? Almost time to rock Goat versus Fish. Oh, Goat versus Fish. Just a little meditation for the verses. Goat! Goat versus Fish. Goat versus Fish. Goat versus Fish. Celebration for Goat. Celebration for Goat.
This one's for all the goats.
For all the goats. Pandemonium Big Band says, I was about to give you a call, but then I saw you went online. Yes, Pandemonious Big Band, we are doing the Goat vs. Fish Thursday morning stream. We think we shall do maybe 90-minute stream, and then we can have a conversation. Goat vs. Fish will speak to Pandemonious Big Band in about 1 hour, 90 minutes. Goat versus Fish. Goat versus Fish. Mighty VsDay, Goat versus Fish. Do you Goat versus Fish?
I'm switching to Fish. I'm very neutral.
Celebration for Fish! Woo! Is this to say that you wish to be Goat and Fish?
Yes, I'm an anomaly.
Well, listen to this. On every other verses, if you wish to be Goat and Fish, then you are a pitiable fence sitter. But this verses is the Mighty VsDay. It is a celebration in Goat versus Fish. On September 9th, it is the Mighty VsDay. And on the Mighty VsDay, you can be both Goat and Fish.
Oh, thank God.
Well, think Goat versus Fish.
Sure thing.
Celebration for Goat and Fish! It's a Goat and Fish! Mighty VsDay, Goat and Fish. Mighty VsDay, celebration. Goat
Mighty
versus
VsDay.
Fish.
Happy birthday.
Oh, yeah.
Mighty VsDay. Oh, yeah.
Hey.
Mighty VsDay to you.
Hey,
Mighty VsDays. It's Mama's moon.
Tis.
Are you
No,
Goat
no,
or
no.
Fish? Are you Goat or Fish?
I mean, we landed on goat.
See?
Oh.
Goat power.
Celebration for Goat.
That earns you a margarita.
Yeah.
Head on down to Goat-a-Rita-ville.
Come on, let's go do it.
Get to WillyTown. Get all the good stuff.
Yeah.
Goat versus Fish is going to go by the lake of the fish and do a meditation. It will be a celebration.
Ah, much celebration.
Celebration! Head on down to WillyTown. Well, Mom, celebration for your birthday. May you have many more. Why is this night different from all other nights? A wise question, Pandemonium Big Band. Follow Pandemonium Big Band on YouTube. Do it now. The Mighty VsDay has similarities to Passover. The goat passed over the fish. The fish passed over the goat. Goat versus fish. 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 Ooh, it's a school of fish bus. It's a school of fish bus. It's still in cultural musications here at WillyTown Fest. Delicious smells of verses. Delicious smelling.
favorite thing is you got this rook on my back line. You can just start decimating.
If only Bob Ross were here now, they could guide us.
Could attack you. But then you could attack me.
Oh man, it killed my music.
What did you do? Oh, I think it's your turn.
I like the goat.
Celebration for goat.
Looks like a cave painting goat.
Yes, it's an ancient verses. Goat.
Man, that actually has a nice sustain to it.
Oh yes. You're welcome to verses if you wish.
This is nice. Very nice.
Goat versus fish. Save the verses. Save the verses. This has been a presentation of Dylan Cottle Music.
Very nice.
Who does triumph?
I think I'm gonna lose on this one. I think Dylan is.
He's letting me though. I'm still learning. It's a tutorial round.
I have yet to take any piece other than a pawn from her, other than pawns. And I'm left with only pawns and my queen.
Got a collection.
I'm in rough shape.
Ooh. 37 watching goat versus fish. You are wise to do so. Today's a special verses. Today is the mighty VsDay of goat versus fish. Mighty VsDay to goat versus fish. Mighty VsDay to goat versus fish.
Mighty VsDay to you.
Celebration. Mighty VsDay to goat versus fish. It's a fish.
Aw, that's perfect.
Is it me?
Yes. I attacked you.
Oh.
Celebration.
This?
There's the verses. They will know that it was goat versus fish, and that goat versus versus fish was here.
That worked.
Jonathan Hollis is goat versus fish. Out here ballin'. The ball is in your versus celebration for Mark L. Instruments who follows goat versus fish. It's WillyTown Fest. Rob Boss approves. The verses continue. We will go now to meditation. It will be a meditation of goat versus fish.
Have a wonderful experience.
Indeed.
On this special verses of the VsDay of goat versus fish, you can actually be goat and fish in the same verses. But you can also just be goat or fish. Are you goat and fish?
I'm sticking with goat.
Celebration for goat. Celebration for goat. Are you goat and fish?
And
Celebration for goat and fish! Wow, what a beautiful verse. Thank you for this offering to paint goat versus fish.
Thank you for your offering of goat versus fish.
Celebration. Celebration.
it came to try. Me? Or you?
I think it's still my turn. I just don't know
What to do?
Shout out Dylan Cottle Music. It is a place. And may we say, you have such a mighty verses here. You inspire goat versus fish. You have this whole place to be, and you have a school bus fish, and all in it, and beautiful illuminations. It is making goat versus fish. We are thinking, next fest versus it would be a very mighty goat versus fish.
Awesome, awesome.
Of course, it is a mighty goat versus fish now, but
Absolutely.
mightier still. Every verse is mightier than the last.
A little bit better than the last verse.
There's nothing to fear. I am goat versus fish.
He's friendly.
Are you goat or fish? Are you goat or fish? I am goat versus fish. It's a mighty versus. Yes, we could lick you too. Is that what you wish? Celebration. Yes, get to know us. We will be here all verses. I am the master of celebration of WillyTown Fest. Master of celebrations. Goat versus fish. Are you goat or fish? No, you are not ready to choose. We shall see you about. We shall see you about. Yes. Shake it all about. That's goat versus fish. I'm goat versus fish. Mighty VsDay to you. Mighty VsDay to all goat and fish. Come with us now to a place of goat versus fish. Come with us now to a place of goat versus fish. Wow, Mom. Fever Dog 1. Puffro Knot. Jonathan Hollis. Fever Dog 1. Tugger Rugger Celebration. Tugger Rugger. Chef Boyard Dave. Celebration to you all. What have we here? Goat versus fish, 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 goat versus fish. The goat versus fish meditation of the mighty VsDay of goat versus fish on goat versus fish Thursday of WillyTown Fest shall soon commence, shall soon commence. You may make offerings of bits and subscriptions to goat versus fish and tips to goat versus fish, even as we meditation. Enjoy the verses of goat versus fish, a meditation, a contemplation, a celebration of goat versus fish. Are you goat or fish? Are you goat and fish? Soon the meditation of goat versus fish and the unity of goat fish at WillyTown Fest. With the artist pass and the wristband of WillyTown Fest, the wristband bound of WillyTown Fest, and goat versus fish. Master of celebrations, it is goat versus fish. guitar of goat versus fish. Elevation. Elevation. Join the Goat vs. Fish Sticker Club on Patreon to get stickers like these. It's the Goat vs. Fish Sticker Club on Patreon. Supports Goat vs. Fish. Goat versus fish. Goat versus fish is now live on your stream. Goat versus fish. Goat versus fish is now live on your stream. What does that even mean? Goat versus fish brings the verses to you. We promise the verses we tell you are true. What's goat versus fish? You haven't a clue, but it is something to do. It is something to do. Make some noise for the goat. Make some noise for the goat. Make some noise for the goat. Make some noise for the fish. Make some noise for the fish. Make some noise for the fish. Goat are always versus the fish. Fish are always versus the goat. And it was written, and it was wrote. The fish are versus the goat, and goat versus fish. It's goat versus fish. Goat versus fish at WillyTown Fest. Mighty VsDay to you. Mighty VsDay to you. Goat versus fish. mighty VsDay to you. Mighty VsDay, goat versus fish. Mighty VsDay to you. Mighty VsDay to you. Goat versus fish. Mighty VsDay to you. Goat versus fish. Mighty VsDay, dear goat versus fish. Mighty VsDay to you. Mighty VsDay, mighty VsDay, mighty VsDay, mighty VsDay, mighty VsDay, goat versus fish. Mighty VsDay to you. Don't sit on the fence. 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 At a shrimpy town fence with goat versus fish at WillyTown fence. Master of celebrations, goat versus fish. Oh, once there was a pitiable fence sitter. It sat there on the fence in the presence of goat versus fish. And the pitiable fence sitter said to goat versus fish, I want to choose goat, but if I choose goat, I might regret that I didn't choose fish. And the pitiable fence sitter said to goat versus fish, I want to choose fish, but if I choose fish, I regret that I might have wanted to be goat. And the goats did plead, please choose me. Together we'll versus all of the fishes. But the fish said, no, 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 no. Become a fish and together we'll versus the goat. We'll versus the goat. Fancy fence sitter couldn't know, couldn't decide. It was along for a fancy ride. But goat versus fish, the eyes of goat versus fish did beaming with pride. Goat versus fish has always said that the fence sitter is pitiable. And even though the fence sitter is very pitiable, allow us to ask you a question that is most incredible. Are you goat and fish? Are you goat and fish? Goat versus fish on the mighty VsDay, on the mighty VsDay, took pity on the pitiable fence sitter. And on the mighty VsDay, and on the mighty VsDay only, you can be a goat and a fish. And this mighty VsDay was especially special. It was goat versus fish Thursday. And it was the first VsDay of the WillyTown festival. This is goat versus fish. Are you goat and fish? Answer as you wish.
This is a good spot.
Goat versus fish. And goat versus fish spoke to the chat. And all of that. Well, Mom says forever verses. I'm your freaking dad says because sad. Oh. You can be sad if you wish. You can be sad if you wish. I'm your freaking dad says minor keys only for fence sitters. You can have a minor verses for a goat or a fish. You can have a minor verses for a fence sitter. It can be a major or a minor verses. Something to do and enjoy the sky blue. We will celebrate goat versus fish. Looking forward to experience glow stick and Doug Wimbish. Yes, Doug Wimbish, the fish sandwich. Puffro not fish. Chef Boyar Dave goat. Auntie Futz, mighty VsDay goat versus fish. Celebration mighty VsDay to you. Are you goat and fish? Tomas Art, mighty VsDay goat versus fish. Celebration mighty VsDay to you. Mighty VsDay to you. Unification, meditation, celebration, tugger-rugger. Yeah, I heard it. It's your VsDay. My VsDay to you. You'd say it's your VsDay. Are you a goat and fish? You are sad for all of them who cannot choose. But remember, on this verses, on the mighty VsDay, you can be goat and fish. Take pity on the fence sitter. Chico Chew TV, goats rise. It's goat versus fish Thursday. And now a meditation of goat versus fish. Fence sitter. The meditation. And now we meditation with goat versus fish. Breathe in, goat versus fish. Breathe out, goat versus fish. Breathe in, goat versus fish. Breathe out, goat versus fish. Breathe in, goat versus fish. Breathe out, goat versus fish. In through the nostril, out through the vocal cavity. If you're pondering, start to wander from goat versus fish. Just return to goat versus fish. Do not harm yourself. Do not be like, oh, I wasn't thinking about goat versus fish. Oh no, it's okay. Let the fenciness pass. And let your ponderings return to goat versus fish. Goat versus fish, 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 goat versus fish. Radiation, 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 radiation. Goat versus fish, 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 goat versus fish. Follow those who raid goat versus fish. Follow those who support goat versus fish. Follow goat, follow fish. Follow yourself to goat versus fish. Follow Glowstick Willy, who welcomes goat versus fish to MC WillyTown Fest. To MC WillyTown Fest. Follow goat versus fish. Follow goat versus fish. Goat versus fish cannot read you from afar, but goat versus fish loves you just as you are. It's goat versus fish, 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 goat versus fish. How can we learn and how can we grow? Does anyone even know? Goat versus fish received a follow. Goat versus fish, 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 goat versus fish. Mighty VsDay, two goat versus fish. Mighty VsDay, two goat versus fish. Mighty VsDay, dear goat versus fish. Mighty VsDay to you. Are you goat or are you fish? 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 Are you goat and 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 fish? Don't sit on a fence. Goat versus fish, 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 goat versus fish. Meditation. Welcome, Raiders, to Goat versus Fish. Welcome, Raiders, to Goat versus Fish. Swifty Chops, Goat versus Fish, Goat versus Fish, Goat versus Fish. Swifty Chops, are you goat and fish? Dr. LeVay, blessed are the goat, lost are the fish. Wow. Crack Daddy says fish, celebration for fish, celebration for fish. Adapt again says I'm a fish, celebration for fish. Adapt again to fish, adapt to fish. Celebration to Sturge Weber guy who follows goat versus fish. Ooh, Popronot asks Magmool, are you goat or fish? But for today only you can be both goat and fish. Magmool loves goat versus fish. AJ Groove says it's the Burger King. Where? Goat versus fish does not see any Burger King anywhere. We just see beautiful lakes of fish and lands of goat. Why? Is Burger King here? Is Burger King haunting goat versus fish? There's a goat and a fish! Adapt again, celebration. Sturge Weber guy, I like them both though. Well, you can be goat and fish this versus. It's Magmool, A Golden. Are you alright, dude? Are you alright? Are you goat or fish? AJ Groove, not weird at all. Aboriginal loves the verses. Celebration for J Smokers, 420 piece. Getting high on the fence, are we? Crack Daddy says hello. Celebration to Magmool, who rates goat versus fish with 33. Makes a noise for Magmool. Cotel 4 says, dude, is that your tent? I saw that spot this versus. Best camp at the Festiverses. It's the best versus of goat versus fish. It's the best versus goat versus fish. It's the best versus! Has the unification begun? Oh yes, the unification has begun. And so has the versus, and so has WillyTown Fest. AJ Group says hello. There are some food trucks over there. Maybe saw those. Oh, we saw the food versus. They make offerings to goat versus fish. They say, we will offer goat versus fish sustenance if you give us a t-shirt that says goat versus fish. And we say, yes. That sounds like an epic versus. Wow, Mom. What is this you're saying to goat versus fish? Let's get a poll going in chat. Let's get a poll going in chat. It's the Glow Stick Willy Festa versus poll. Let's get a poll. We want a simple poll. Expropius vocabulus. We want you to make the poll. 10 bits per vote. 10 bits per vote. Let us say 5 bits per vote. 5 bits per vote. 5 bits per vote. 50 channel points per vote. Who shall triumph WillyTown Fest? Who shall triumph WillyTown Fest on the mighty VsDay? Is that chicken, goat, or fish? That's a question. Bunny, DQ, or spiders, goat, or fish? We want a poll. Who shall triumph WillyTown Fest on the mighty VsDay? Goat? Fish? Shrimpy Mo? Shrimpy Town Fence? Will it be goat? Will it be Goat Town Fest? Fish Town Fest? Shrimpy Town Fence? Or will it be unification? Who shall triumph WillyTown Fest on the mighty VsDay? Will it be Goaty Town Fest, Fishy Town Fest, Shrimpy Town Fence, or unification? Celebration for AJ Groove, who follows Goat versus Fish. Who is making that poll? Who is making that poll? Which mod is making the poll? We hope that poll is soon. If you need Goat versus Fish to repeat the poll, we will repetition it to you. Puffro not. I can if is stepped away. We think that the mods, when Goat versus Fish says we will make a poll, we think the mods should quickly have a little chat, and one of you will be like, I'll do it. The poll is live! Wow, Mom is doing it! Who shall triumph WillyTown Fest on the mighty VsDay? We have Goaty Town Fest, Shrimpy Town Fence, Fishy Town Fest, and Unification. And another versus for Bring Your Fishing Rods. Wow. Vote in the poll! refresh twitch.tv/goat versus fish and vote in the poll and vote in the poll. Do you be goat? Do you be goat? Do you be goat? Do you be fish? Do you be fish? Do you be fish? Do you be goat? Do you be goat? Do you be goat? Do you be fish? Do you be fish? Do you be fish? Goat, do be goat, and fish, do be fish. Do you be goat or a fish? I once met one at WillyTown Fest. Are you goat or are you fish? Well, you know the rest. Oh, it sat on the fence. Oh, it sat on the fence. Oh, it sat on the fence. Goat, do be goat, and fish, do be fish. Do you be goat or a fish? Well, goat are of the land, and fish are of the sea. But what kind of goat or fish do you be? Do you be goat or a fish? Do you be goat or a fish? Do you be goat or a fish? Goat, do be goat, and fish, do be fish. Do you be goat or a fish? Doobie 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 goat. Adapt against a guppy fish. Adapt against a guppy fish. Goat, doobie goat, and guppy doobie fish. Do you be goat or a fish? Goat and fish, please enjoy this stream. Soon will come all of the WillyTown screams. We're giving you a private, a little intimate verses with goat versus fish. Soon the festive verses is going to get lit. There's a lot of Master of Celebrationing for goat versus fish to do, but we wanted to give this little special verses to you. The chat of goat versus fish. The chat of goat versus fish. The chat of goat versus fish. Goat do be goat and fish do be fish. Do you be goat or a fish? If Goat vs. Fish did not streaming live, who knows if Goat vs. Fish would survive? We're now at WillyTown Fest. We're now at WillyTown Fest. 1 versus a go. Who would have known that this is where Goat vs. Fish would go? We're in Ohio. We're in Ohio. Goat and fish, do be fish. Do you be goat or a fish? The new poll is live. The new poll is live. Refresh and vote. Refresh the streams and vote. Goat or fish? Goat do be goat and fish do be fish at a WillyTown Fest. We've got 157 votes for WillyTown Fest. We've got Unification with 136. And not one vote for FishyTown Fest. Not one vote for fish. Not even one pity vote for fish. We've got 157 for WillyTown Fest. But Unification, will it be WillyTown Fish? Will it be WillyTown Fish? Will it be Billy Goat Fish? Will it be WillyTown Fish Goat versus? WillyTown Fest with 157, Unification with 135. Tongus G spent 390 bits. Tongus G with 390 bits. Ex-Provis Vocabulary spent verses. Prediction. Goat. It will be WillyTown Fest with a heavy verses of Unification. Make some noise for the goat. Congrats, Gold versus Fish, with the win at WillyTown Fest. Fish might win next versus. Adapt again. You'll just have to adapt again. Fish will have to adapt yet again. At WillyTown Fest, we wish you the best and all of the rest. Some say goat versus fish is a sham. Some say goat versus fish is a scam. Give us all your bits. Some say goat versus fish is just spam. But I am what I am. I am what I am. Versus fish for as long as you wish. At WillyTown Fest, we wish you the best and all of the rest. Celebration, celebration, celebration. Head on down to WillyTown, goat versus fish. Shall MC at WillyTown Fest. We heard that maybe nephew Uncle Joseph isn't actually going to be here. Glow stick, dog, Wimbish, Liz Vega, Dylan Cottle, Crimson Riot, Matt Suarez, Master of Celebration, goat versus fish. It's a beautiful lake of fish. Is there no rope swing? They don't want you to swim. They don't want you to swim, but it is stocked with fish. You can see the goat and fish arriving at the back of the verses. Well, wow, Mom, it is nephew Uncle Joseph could show up at any verses, but so far no Joe. So far no Joe. Tungus G, powerful verses. Celebration for Druidism 7025. Who follows? Goat versus fish. Are you goat or are you fish? Goat versus fish. Are you goat or fish? Who is live? Who is live this verse is? Druid declares fish. Celebration for fish. Is Forgotten Virtue live? Is Julie and Mr. Humdinger live? Are Forgotten Virtue or Julie and Mr. Humdinger live? Mods, is Forgotten Virtue or Julie and Mr. Humdinger live? Also, there's a new tweet. There's a new goat versus fish tweet. There's a new WillyTown type goat versus fish pinned tweet. We want you to go to the Twitterverse and retweet goat versus fish. We want you to go on the social media and tell everyone. Goat versus fish on Twitch. Glowstick Willy. WillyTown Fest. It happens now. You can even still head on down to WillyTown in Troy, Ohio if you wish. Fish. Are you goat or a fish? Are you I'll sleep with the fishes. You just mad 'cause you can't breathe underwater. Goat mad? Are you goating mad? Are you goating mad? Celebration. We've got celebration. Buffro not gifted a subscription. Buffro not gifted a subscription. Buffro not gifted a subscription to Goat versus Fish. Buffro not gifted a subscription to Goat versus Fish. Buffro not gifted a subscription to Jimbo. Ayo, ayo, ayo. Gifted subscription celebration. Is this the beginning? Is this the beginning of the fabled hype train of Goat versus Fish? Or maybe they want to save it for when we are going around WillyTown Fest. WillyTown Fest. It's your birthday present. It's your birthday presentation from Buffro Not. Buffro Not with the birthday presentation for Goat versus Fish. It's your birthday celebration. Thank you for this birthday presentation. Thank you for this birthday celebration. Tugger Rugger, I decided my tent is too close to Goat versus Fish site for afternoon's nap. Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. The versus is mighty. Are you goat or fish? Tugger Rugger can hear Goat versus Fish. Tugger Rugger, are you out there? Should we find you now, Tugger Rugger? Should we just go and find you now? Tungus G says we miss Bird versus Bear. We suppose Bird versus Bear is going to be out here somewhere. Fever Dog says, fine, Tugger Rugger. That would be a mighty versus. Locate the Tug. Well, Tug might be sleeping now. It might be sleeping on the verse. Tugger Rugger says, okay. Tugger Rugger says, I'll find you. Tugger Rugger says, I'll find you. Here comes Tugger Rugger. When will Tugger Rugger be here? We just don't know. Tugger Rugger, they say. Tugger Rugger seeks out Goat versus Fish. Calicut celebration for Goat versus Fish. Mighty VsDay to Goat versus Fish. Mighty VsDay to Goat versus Fish. Should print duct tape with Goat versus Fish on the logo. True verses. And then we will finally know that that duck is a goat or a fish. We will finally know if that duck is a goat or a fish. It's the new guitar of goat versus fish. Without a guitar stand. Goat versus fish. We think we have a guitar stand that we shall retrieve soon. Druidism 725. I'm getting a lot of goat versus fish 5s here. Just what I needed. Celebration. Late bloomer. Gonna go back to my pond now. Please do. Please do. Please do. Celebration for fish. Welcome home, goats and fish. Tugger Rugger, are you seeking out goat versus fish? Who comes here? Who comes? Who seeks goat versus fish? Who seeks goat versus fish?
Yes.
Celebration. Welcome to the mighty verses.
Awesome. Awesome spot.
It is. It is more awesome because you are here.
Very nice.
Would you be willing to make it an even more awesome spot of goat versus fish by assisting goat versus fish with a simple verse?
Absolutely.
Celebration. We create goat versus fish together. You can take this verses here. Ooh, we like the V of the verses. Nice verses. And then we want to just put it like through here from the underverse or from the oververse. Just through there. It's a tight verse, but that will help keep it strong. Celebration! Goat versus fish is open for verses.
Awesome. You sing music?
Oh yes, goat versus fish. We were just singing a celebration. We could offer you a musication if you wish.
I would love a musication.
Celebration, celebration. And
What's up, chat?
who is this? Who is this? Who is this? What do you call yourself?
Who is this with goat versus fish? Who's gonna guess it in the chat first?
Come, let us gather around the verses. Are you goat or fish?
Who's that? Adapt again. Well done.
It's Tugger Rugger! It's Tugger Rugger!
Tugger Rugger is goat.
Celebration for goat! Celebration for goat!
Celebration.
Okay, let's have a musication. And you can look out at the sea, you can look out at the sea of the fish, and just please take a verses. This is goat versus fish.
Yeah.
This is goat versus fish here. As you can see, it's a mighty verses. But let's goat versus fish. Let's bring the verses here. Let's bring you some goat versus fish. Bring you some goat versus fish here. Fence sitter. Fence sitter. Okay, who wants to hold the verses?
I'll hold the
You can point it at goat versus fish. You may do whatever you wish. You may tap the verses, and you can flip the verses this verse way, and goat way, and fish way.
By tapping.
So you can look at goat versus fish. You can look at yourselves.
All
You can do
right.
however you wish. You can do however you wish.
You ready for a musication?
Yes, very much so.
Oh yeah.
Let's do the classic verses. Let's do the classic verses. Goat versus fish. Let's goat versus fish together. 10 goat versus fish. Goat versus fish. Goat versus fish. Goat versus fish. Goat versus fish.
Goat versus fish. Goat versus fish. Goat versus fish.
Goat versus fish. Goat versus fish.
Goat versus fish.
Goat versus fish. Goat versus fish. Goat versus fish is now live by the lake. Are you thinking this was a horrible mistake? Goat versus fish, sitting on the land of the goat by the lake of the fish.
With the goat and the fish.
Goat and fish. Goat versus fish brings the verses to you. We promise the verses we tell you are true. What's goat versus fish? You haven't a clue. But it is something to do. It is something to do for me and for you, and the verses are true. Goat versus fish. Fish versus goat. The fence sitter pitiably sits on the fence. It comes from where or whence. We only know it sits on the fence. It sits on the fence. Oh, I was gonna choose a goat, but I'm on the fence. I was gonna win and I was gonna gloat, but I'm on the fence. Now I'm blowing bubbles and I know whence. Am I on the fence? Am I on the fence? Am I on the fence? Are you goat or fish? I was gonna choose a fish, but I'm on the fence.
And then I got high.
I was gonna splash and I was gonna splish, but I'm on the fence. I'm chewing on a tin can and I know whence. Am I on the fence? Am I on the fence? Am I on the Am I on the fence? Am I on the fence? Am I on the fence? Let's see, goat versus fish was trying to do a new verses. Goat versus fish. It was going to be goat versus fish. Goat versus fish. Here was the new verses. I was gonna do something with my life, but I'm on the fence. I was gonna heal the world from strife, but I'm on the fence. Now I'm getting down at WillyTown Fest. And am I on the fence? 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 I was gonna sit on the fence, but I'm on the fence. I was gonna sit on the fence, but I'm on the fence. and choose me, goat or a fish. But am I on the fence? Am I on the fence? Am I on the fence?
Fabulous.
Thank you for the celebration. Thank you for being here with Goat versus Fish. Please introduce yourselves to the chat if you wish. It's WillyTown Fest. We're celebrating all the streamers are gathered together. Say your verses. Say your verses.
Hello.
Doug.
I'm Dylan Cottle. We're hanging with Goat versus Fish.
So who does Goat versus Fish's graphics?
It depends on the verses.
Your sticker.
This
The one on the side here.
this verses.
Yes.
This verses. This is by one that is called on the Instantgram. It's called Vicious Kill.
Vicious Kill.
Or
Very
you
cool.
could think of it like Vicious Skill, but it's Vicious Kill.
Yeah.
And we met them at many Comic Con, and they do this verses. They do this verses here, but they have it for like Spider-Man and Dragon's Ball Z and like every verses you could ever ponder. They do it in this kind of verses. And then we said you should make one of Goat versus Fish, and they did. But many artists make artistic renderings of Goat versus Fish. Many are inspired by Goat versus Fish to interpret Goat versus Fish how they wish. And you can join the Goat versus Fish Patreon sticker club, and you can get stickers of Goat versus Fish.
Awesome.
And we will also be selling them here at WillyTown Fest, of course. Goat versus Fish is going to be offering. Well, you see, Goat versus Fish was trapped in prison. Goat versus Fish was imprisoned by Glowstick Willy. Goat versus Fish was imprisoned by Glowstick Willy and locked in the closet.
Come out.
But now we are free. To MC at WillyTown Fest.
Yes, come out.
And so for the verses of free Goat versus Fish, we're going to get on the stage and be like, free Goat versus Fish, a free sticker of Goat versus Fish at the merch place. Just go, it's free. You can get it now. Free Goat versus Fish. Get the verses.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert, free Goat versus Fish. Goat versus Fish. Goat versus Fish is wherever you are. You know what time it is now, chat. It's time to end the verses. Goat versus Fish. Tugger rugger! Goat versus Fish is wherever you are. Whether you're near or you're far. Where have you come from? Where shall you go? What have you seen? To whom will you show? How can we learn and how can we grow? Does anyone even know? No. Does anyone even know that it's Fish versus Goat? It's Goat versus Fish at WillyTown Fest with Dylan Cottle music and Tugger Rugger. That was actually kind of a
That
dramatic.
was awesome, man.
It was like that's the versus celebration.
The curtain.
Goat versus Fish.
The curtains are closed.
Could not have been better, really. Yeah.
Celebration. Thank you for joining this versus of Goat versus Fish.
And thank you for the musification.
Thank you for the musifications. Yes, we need to have a versus where. And
Special
Curtain
effects.
drop,
Yeah.
mic drop.
yes,
What you don't know is he had a string and had it all planned.
yes. It's curtains for you, Goat versus Fish. Curtains. Are curtains Goat or Fish? Are you certain? Oh, look at this beautiful place where the land meets the sea. It's so Goat versus Fish.
Thank you for sharing your beautiful view.
Thank you. Yes.
It is time to carry on our quest.
The journey continues.
Oh, you have a quest. A quest.
No quest, actually. Quest to nowhere.
Yes.
The quest of Goat versus Fish is the question: are you Goat or Fish? We shall see you about Tugger Rugger, thank you for being part of the verses. It's pleasant new verses.
Absolutely.
You pleasant new verses. You.
Yeah.
Is the barking one here?
No, he's not here. No. Yeah. Perhaps next year, if I road trip out here, like you did.
Road tripping, yes.
Yes.
It was a long and wearisome but beautiful verses.
Yes.
And you can ring the verse. You want to ring the verse?
Oh yes.
Ring my verses, ring my verses. So you have to hold it just lightly from the bottom of the verse, so it can ring out. Go, go, go. Yes.
The verses.
Make some noise for Tugger Rugger the goat.
Was it? Bah, bah. Am I doing it right?
You are a powerful goat. You are a powerful goat. Oh, and look. Also, it's Daniel's decay. It's Daniel's decay.
Ah, yes. To represent.
Representation. Should give our new friends some stickers. Oh, we will. Oh, we will. Oh, we will. Oh, we will. Remember, this is almost still just like the pre-verses of WillyTown Fest. We're giving you a little intimate verses because soon we're going to be out and about speaking to all the goat and fish, and it's going to be like, wow, so much verses. So we wanted to give you just a little goat versus fish Thursday, little private verses. Celebration.
Pre-WillyTown Fest. Yes.
So Tugger's Rugger Goat, what is it like to be here with goat versus fish on this mighty goat versus fish mighty Thursday?
Beautiful. I mean, like you mentioned, where the land meets the sea of the fish. Beautiful view. I'm just around the bend here. That's why I was able to hear you singing and celebrating. I believe you had a successful hype train, perhaps, or a gifted sub.
Close.
Okay.
We got a few gifts. We got a few
All right.
gifts. But listen,
Okay.
they have been so most generousness with goat versus fish. You have been very, very generousness with goat versus fish.
All right.
And we know the verses. We know the verses. Goat versus
Very
fish is
well
not a
done.
verses of desperation. The verses,
Yeah.
the bits will come when the bits come, and they sub to goat versus fish, and we are all here for the celebration. It's a mighty verse. Rain Felicia.
Exactly.
Thank you for being here with goat versus fish. Calicut. Thank you for the preview of the verses goat versus fish. Celebration Calicut. Okay. Let us say fair verses to Tugger Rugger the goat. Here comes the fish. Ah, the fish comes to verses. Goat versus fish. Okay, chat. That's the pre-stream. That's the Goat versus Fish Thursday pre-stream. More streams coming, but we have preparation to do. So, who is live? Who is live? Who is live? Is Forgotten Virtue live? Is Julian Mr. Humdinger live? Astro Traveler 6 redeemed. Celebration! Celebration. Celebration. Who is live on the Twitch? Who is live on the Twitch? Who is live on the Twitch? I want to catch me a tasty fish from the lake. Do you know what kind is in there? We don't, but we know they're versus goat. This we can say for certain. Druidism wants the Discord. We will have to get you a link some other verses, but please keep coming back to the streams of goat versus fish, and the Discord will eventually be there for you. Genesis Flood, says Tungus G. Genesis Floods! Genesis Floods! Did Genesis Floods enter the verses? Did we miss that verses? During the musications? Adapt again, boyfriend like. Goat versus fish. Celebrations all about. Celebrations all about. We have asked a question to the chat. We have asked, is Forgotten Virtue live? Is Julian Mr. Humdinger live? Tugger Rugger, can you inform us who is live on Twitch? Who's live on Twitch? When we are doing this phone streaming, it is in one verses. It's a very practical verse. We can move about freely as we wish.
Yeah, neither are online right now.
Neither
Oh,
are.
no, that's somebody else. Yeah.
Goat versus fish is live. 45. That's a healthy looking verses.
Yeah.
Let's see the verses we've got. But you are not following all the ones that Goat versus fish follow.
Yeah.
But never the
Some.
verses.
I do follow. Julian Mr. Humdinger was on earlier today, I believe. God, I saw him.
They are not live. They are not live. Expropus, yes, you can post a Discord link in the chat. It's Rough Mouth the Fish! Is that goat versus fish?
Bill, before I forget, he has an extra one of each shirt, 2X, that he says he's coming back for. I guess he's putting them on his own back. But they're extra as to what you've ordered.
So one extra double X, one extra large of goat versus fish, and one extra large of the unification.
Yeah, whatever you ordered. But I don't know what you want me to do with them. Whether you want to unload them here.
Well,
they're not very heavy.
Well, we'll just show the stream just very quickly what we're versing with here. Look, it's new shirts of goat versus fish. Wow, it's new goat versus fish shirt celebration. We're going to sell them at WillyTown Fest. And you can get them at goatversusfish.com/store. It's the new merch of Goat versus Fish. Bill came through.
Oh yeah, he's sorry to bother you.
Of course, fish. Well, we think that we are going to deliver these. They will eventually be at the merch booth.
Yeah, but for now, if you don't want to keep them back here, which I understand, I could just put them up in the garage.
Okay.
And when the merch booth gets all set up and everything, and I take my stuff over there, we could take those over there as well.
Okay.
But I could put them up somewhere safe.
Please do.
And they'll just be inside the garage. So if you need them,
yes.
You see what the boxes look like. They'll be in there.
We do. Would you be willing to wait like 60 seconds and then we can ride with you back to the place?
To the garage?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and we can give them a little tour of WillyTown Fest. We are just going to put this in Goat versus Fish and we'll be just there. Okay, we're going for a ride. You're going for a ride with Goat versus Fish and Roughmouth the fish and Tuggerugger the goat. At WillyTown Fest. We've got all the verses. And the guitar of Goat versus Fish.
It's been a long day already. Oh, yeah. Been a long day. Here, let me flip this seat down so you can hop on too.
You guys got a walkie on up there?
Oh, okay. Yeah. Go for a little ride.
Yep.
Okay, here's a name for you. I erased Dylan Cottle off the guest list, or did I leave her on the band list?
She's not on there.
Okay, so just write down that Dylan has one guest. I forgot to put that down.
All right, are we all on?
Goat versus Fish is here. We are prepared. We're prepared to versus. Let's do this, Fish.
Oh, hold on. You know Adam?
Yes.
Told me you might. What's up, y'all?
Yes,
He
we
told
do.
me that you might have some tent stakes. Ray told me they were his. But...
We may just. Do you need them like now type now?
Yeah, the wind's blowing my tent around a little bit.
Oh, my verses. Okay, can you hold this verses? Hold this verses. Hold this verses.
What's up?
We're live on stream.
Oh, nice.
I can hold those.
Fuck yeah.
Oh, it's all good. I got them. Yeah. Just in case I gotta spear somebody. You got a wristband?
Golf cart jousting, man.
You
guys usually do these every year? Like a wristband like this?
Yeah, cloth.
Material?
I design them. I put the little W2TF on there. Yep. Those,
you
I'm
want
proud
some
of
steak?
those. Those are the
Yeah,
best
I'd-
ones.
Well, if you want to have a steak in
I just
Goat
need
versus
steak.
Fish,
Yeah, I'm
how
proud
big of a
those.
steak do you want?
Just, regular size steak.
Those are the best ones I've designed yet, and I've been doing them for a few years. I got them, I was like, oh yeah, these are good.
Awesome, I need 3.
Okay.
That includes 4.
3 steaks of Goat
Awesome,
versus
thank
Fish.
you. Appreciate y'all. Can't wait to see y'all rage.
Hell yeah, dude.
Fuck yeah,
It's gonna be fire.
for sure.
I gotta go rehead the whole drum set.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a huge pain in the ass.
Lisa Moon, Frankie. Lisa, I got the McKees.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it.
Always thank Goat versus Fish and Goat versus Fish, the master of celebrations, welcomes you to WillyTown Fest. Woo. Celebration.
Celebration.
Are you goat or fish? It is not prepared to answer the one true question. Next verses. Okay, let's verse.
All right.
Okay, I'll just send them down there to Sandy again.
Yep, that works.
You go the long way. about the pond of the fish.
Oh, they love it. They love this place. And so does Goat versus Fish. We did a little verses with Tugger Rugger and Dylan Cottle music, and we sang them a verse by the... It's an intimate verses. We wanted to give them an intimate stream with Goat versus Fish before the amazing celebration that's going to be WillyTown Fest craziness.
Oh yeah, tonight is going to be a good set. Acoustic Willie with Doug Wimbish.
Acoustic Willie with Doug Wimbish?
Oh yeah.
Wow! Celebration! You should watch it on Glowstick Willie. It's streaming on Glowstick Willie?
Hell yeah.
Exclamation GSW in the chat. Exclamation GSW in the chat. Follow Glowstick Willie. Watch the living streams. You might even just see a little Goat versus Fish. It will be a celebration.
Did you go in this building at all?
We have not entered it even yet.
Oh, you gotta go in there and check it out. It's the art gallery's getting set up in there.
Okay.
The artists are starting to show up.
JMO's up there now.
It only looks about 10% of the way of what it will look like.
Yes.
But it's already badass, so it's only gonna get more badass from here.
Celebration.
Gap in the fence, gap in the fence.
A gap in the fence. Goat versus Fish goes through the gap in the fence with ease. We've got Fish here. We've got Tugger Rugger Goat. We've got not an entrance. So this is garage.
Yeah. So
Okay.
we'll put your shirts in here.
And we'll put.
You can stash your guitar in here.
We'll stash the verses. Stash the verses. Head on down to WillyTown. Metal Mario celebration. Everyone follow Glowstick Willie. Most of you are. But follow Glowstick Willie again. Shirts of Goat versus Fish. The merch.
He has his raccoons with him.
Thank you for your assistance.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
Celebration, Tugger Rugger, celebration.
All for the verses.
We do it all for the verses. Celebration for Goat. New shirts of Goat versus Fish. More Goat versus Fish. More unification. A mighty verse. Thank you, Fish. Thank you, Goat.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
It's Buddha the Goat. It's Buddha the Goat. It's Dragon Balls 325. Goat versus Fish. Not an entrance. Ah, Ralph Mouth Fish. The verses. We didn't forget the verses. We're getting the verses now.
We didn't start the verses. It was always verses since the world was turning.
Let's take one last look at WillyTown Fest. And then that will end the pre-stream celebration of Goat versus Fish Thursday, the mighty verse day of Goat versus Fish, WillyTown Fest celebration. It's John Show the Goat.
Okay, I'll get a hold of him and I'll get a hold of you. Okay. Right, cool. What's John Show doing? Ralph! Yeah. Dominic is coming today. Yeah. I'm telling
Willitown Fest! Oh shit, adapt again. Can you get a WillyTown vest at WillyTown Fest? We think you can. You can definitely get merch. You can definitely get WillyTown merch. Goat versus Fish might be speaking from here. Goat versus Fish might be speaking from here. Hello, Goat versus Fish. Hello. Rain Felicia celebration. Ghost Hammer Art, I'm watching you. I can smell you. Do we smell like goat or fish? This is the kind of community I love to see. Garage is made of fence. Does your booty burp? Ghost Hammer Art, are you goat or fish? Are you goat or fish? Okay, goat and fish, we have 46 here. We have 46 here. Goat versus fish, more like fish versus goat. Am I versus? You are versus. Okay, goat and fish. Stream's ending soon. Stream ending soon. Who is live on Twitch? Who's live on Twitch? Who's live on Twitch? Ghost Hammer Art says, come to the benches. Goat versus Fish is going to be stopping to be live now. We have some preparation to do for the verses, but we'll be live again. There's going to be so much Goat versus Fish live. So much verses. Wait, Killer Ride says, wait! What is it, Killer Ride 82? No! Go to the art benches and find ghosts! Ah! Art benches. Ah, the verse is just there? Okay, we'll go to the verses. We'll go to the verses. We'll check on the artistic verses, and that will be the end of the pre-stream of Goat vs. Fish Thursday Celebration WillyTown Fest. Let's verses! Ooh, low battery. You know what that means. Goat versus Fish on cable. Okay, let's go to Art Place. Just with the Art Place. It's just here. So let's versus. Here we have Dolled Up Spuds, presented by Shrimpy Mom. Let's check out an art. 20% power remaining. Goat versus Fish. Goat versus Fish got them connections. This is my cock. Last Moon Man celebration. Ice Moon Man, getting chilling out.
Chilling out. Chillaxing.
Oh, we have Taked Potato. We have something to consume. We have delicious verses. Who gets to consume these delicious verses? Who gets to consume it?
I don't know, but it makes me hungry. I did get you another table.
Celebration! Well, goat versus fish. Goat versus fish. We'll just sneak a little verses. Ooh, goat versus fish. Master of celebrations, goat versus fish. To sneak a verses. How could you, goat versus fish? How could you? Celebration. Watch out for that fence. It's goat versus fish. We're looking at the art place.
Art place is right over there, man.
Are you goat or fish?
I'm a goat.
Celebration for goat. Mighty VsDay. It's the VsDay of goat versus fish. It's mighty VsDay. Two goat versus fish. True verses. It's actually the mighty VsDay of goat versus fish.
There's the true verses over there on that table.
Let's find it out. Show us the way. Show us the way. Goat versus fish.
Getting hugged.
Hug.
I'm Ghost Hammer.
Yes, Ghost Hammer. You're the hug. The hug.
I'll recreate
bring it in.
Recreate the hug. Nice to meet you, man. Thank you for coming.
We are pleased to be here. Thank you for coming to WillyTown Fest celebration for
Happy
goats.
WillyTown.
Happy WillyTown Fest with MC Goat versus Fish to you.
Blow off that fart.
Are you goat or fish? Are you a farting goat or fish?
I'm a goat.
Celebration for farting goat. So are you going to be painting a verses here? Are you going to be creation verses as we verse?
Yes, I'm building something right now. I'm gonna have raffled off, or I'm gonna have marble raced off. It's this, the rocker, for my game lab.
Ah, Warhammer 40 million. We have heard of this verses. We've heard of this verses. Yes. Are the Tau goat or fish?
Are they? They're both.
They're both.
They're both. Yeah, that is the one rare occasion they are both.
They are both goat and fish on the mighty VsDay of goat versus fish. Look at these verses.
My child painted these actually, my 9-year-old.
And then suddenly a giant goat. We can't stop the goat. Rampaging goat. Goat. We need to call. We need to bring in the fish. Bring in the fish. We can't release the fish. The fish is too powerful. Bring in the fish. Bring in the fish. It's just a chance we're going to have to take. Release the fish. Goat versus fish. I left my fish wife at home, and now this. Oh no! Oh, what a tragic versus.
What a tragic versus.
Who shall triumph, the goat or the fish at WillyTown Fest? It's Warhammer 40 billion. Goat versus a fish. Strafing verse. I'm going to take down that goat and that fish. It's the fancy sitter. You're a mean one. Monsieur Fence.
His base, I didn't bring it. His base has a little like dog creature that he's designed after the Grinch.
Your heart is full of fence.
And that's all spare parts.
All spare verses. This is a beautiful verse.
Yeah. All of its extra pieces.
Well, if you wish to make a little goat versus fish,
I have a 3D printer. It's possible. It's possible.
If ever you feel inspired to make an art of goat versus fish, if any of you feel inspired to make an art of goat versus fish, please do. It will be a celebration.
Well, the art for goat versus fish is right over there on that table, man. He said to leave it away.
Woo! Goat versus fish.
Done by Lace Creations. And that is you with Flow Poetry, who are both, MCs of WillyTown. this painting a goat or is this painting a fish?
We'll have to find out. We'll have to ask all of them. It's probably Chris Bro.
That is Chris Bro, man.
And we have Misled Buddha, and we suspect...
Is Gene Simmons a goat or a fish?
Is Gene Simmons goat or fish?
Oh? Well, I don't even know. That's up for goat versus fish to decide if Gene Simmons is a goat or a
It's
fish.
up for Gene Simmons to decide. Please, let's get Gene Simmons down to WillyTown Fest, and let's ask Gene Simmons
It's
if
gonna be
they're goat or
expensive
fish.
as fuck, man.
A pricey versus. Well worth it, well worth it. Once they are asked the one true question, they'll be like, oh, it's a free versus. Please, we can't possibly ask so much. Oh, and look, goat and fish! Bonus goat and fish! Celebration for goat versus fish! Support artists that care about you.
That damn right, man.
Goat versus fish cares about you.
Goat versus fish is the way, right?
Yes. Celebration.
Somebody says adapt against us, fish won.
Ah, they won
They
it. That
won over that
versus over
tournament.
there, yes.
So here's an interesting question. Being that the Capricorn is the sign of the sea goat, are you a Capricorn yourself?
Goat versus fish. When it comes to the verses of Capricorn, that is what they said. Some say, oh, I'm a Pisces, I'm a Capricorn, I'm a Cancer. and all of these
Capricorn
verses.
is the goat fish, so I figured that might be possibly could be your sign.
Ah, but you see, goat versus fish. When it comes to these verses, these astronomical verses, they say to you, they say, what is your birthday? And they tell you what you are, they tell you what you are. That is not the way with goat versus fish. With goat versus fish, you choose if you are goat or fish for yourself, not because someone said, oh, it's your birthday, it's September 35, you must be whatever the verse. So, the Capricorn unification of goat versus fish based on no verses. We asked the Capricorn, are you goat or are you fish, Capricorn? Get off the fence, choose goat or fish.
Or goat, man. Gotta choose the goat.
Celebration for goat, celebration for goat. Look, it's a fence eating its own fence.
The fence eating its own fence. I don't really see any fences being eaten in this shirt right now, man.
Do you stream on Twitch?
I do have a Twitch account. It's Lace Creations. Feel free to look it up. I'll be streaming some more after WillyTown and getting into the groove of things.
So when you say Lace Creations made this, you are speaking of yourself.
Yes, I am, man.
Celebration for Lace Creations. Follow Lace Creations on Instagram. After you follow Goat versus Fish, follow Lace Creations, who makes these beautiful verses. Who makes these beautiful verses of Buddha's Late No Talent Show presents Goat versus Fish Flow Poetry WillyTown Fest. This will not be the last verses that we see this verses. We shall see it again.
Sure
We shall see
thing,
it again
man.
soon. Celebration. Thank you, Lace Creations, for this amazing verses. We will speak to you soon. We will speak to you at another verses about how to make this a beautiful stickers for the sticker club of Goat
I
versus
wasn't to
Fish.
talk to you about that, man.
We do not have to do that on the stream if you do not wish. We could conversation about that some other verses.
Oh, yeah. Well, we don't have to do streaming for it, though. We can always talk about that when you're off streaming.
Yes, celebration. There will be much verses for Goat versus Fish. Zeppelin Man says, what is this place? It's obviously the Buddha's Late Night Talent Show with Goat versus Fish and Flow Poetry. We are in the art verses, the artistic verses of WillyTown Fest. Make some noise for Lace Creations. Oh, you have other verses here?
Yes, you could call this a versus right here. It's Freddie Mercury versus the Traveling Moon.
Wow, and it's Pee Wee Sermon.
Yes, sir.
Riding
that
the
was
fence.
An old school painting that I did. It's Freddie Mercury, a goat or a fish.
Is this the real verse? Is this just fantasy? We do not know. We do not know.
Is Pee Wee Herman a goat or a fish?
We need to know. We need to know all of these questions. We need to know all of these questions. Lace Creations. Look at the arts of Lace Creation. Iron Maiden. Excellent. Fuck Cancer. It's Stephen Irwin. Steve Irwin, are you goat or fish?
He's a stingray.
Stingray is a fish. That Stingray versus it. It's probably a goat. Oh, that fish did you in. Hello, my name is Nikolai Tesla. Listen, we're going to have a lot. This is just the pre-verses. We're going to be able to explore all these verses soon. Thank you for this pre-verses, for this WillyTown pre-verses.
Is Eddie a goat or a fish?
Is Eddie a goat or a fish? Vince Claus.
That's the Phantom of the Opera is a fish.
No, Phantoms of the Opera is fish. Is that ABBA box? We just don't know. We just don't
It's a
know.
bunch of savage clowns, man. And that's some supplements for me.
Supplements! Thank you, Lace Creations. This will not be our last verses. We shall see you here at
You're
WillyTown
welcome,
Fest.
man.
Celebration for Lace Creations. Follow Lace Creations on the Instagram and tell them Goat vs. Fish sent me. We think that one there is your best verses yet. Well, yes, but that one has goat versus fish, so clearly it's the superior verse.
If you say so, man, I guess I'll side with it.
Battery check. Oh, it's almost over. Ghost Hammer Heart 8 at Radio Gallows. Follow them. Are these for Instagram and Twitch or?
Instagram and Twitch. My camera just came in, so I'll be streaming next week.
Celebration! Follow them on Twitch, follow them on Instagram. Look at this mighty verses, look at this mighty verses.
We're also in a band.
They're also in a band, of course you are. And what do you call your band?
Rough around the edges.
Rough around the fences. They're rough around the edges. Edges. Rough around the edges.
You can keep them there as long as you need, bud. That made my day right there. Grown men playing with toys, man.
Grown. Is a man a goat or a fish? You say we can leave these here? We will entrust these here for you for a brief verses. Yes. Do not let any go off with them, but they can look at them and be like, wow, goat versus fish is here.
I'll be here for a while.
Okay.
If I bounce out, if I leave or something, I'm putting them right here and you can come around and get them.
Okay.
That's my artwork I've been doing.
Ooh.
That's Ghost Hammer art.
Ghost Hammer's Art 8. Monstrosity.
I'm gonna have the black light on tonight and it'll look a lot cooler. These are all like black light reflective. So I'm excited to do that. I've yet to even see it in here. Black light reflective.
We have seen this one. This one looks familiar to Goat versus
I
Fish.
did that on a Twitch one time, or a stream.
Have a slice of verses. Cool stuff, says Tweeties42 said followed, you followed. Celebration Tweeties42. You followed Lace Creations. You can also follow Ghost Hammer's Art and Radio of Gallows.
Said it right. See? It's a globe. It's not flat.
All around the verse, it is goat versus fish. Bleach blonde, hello. Hi, bleach blonde. Hi, bleach blonde. Hi, bleach blonde. Hi, bleach blonde.
So I think it's very interesting that you met Danny Mullen. Do you believe that he freed the slaves?
That Danny Mullen freed the slaves?
He claims he did.
We would believe that Danny Mullen keeps slaves for itself. So in that, maybe it freed its own slaves. That could have been the verses.
Do you think Leo is his personal slave?
Do we think Leo is its own goat? We think Leo is its own goat. We think Leo is its own goat. If anything, maybe Danny's Mullins is slavish to Leo the goat for any verses. But who is that one? Who is that other one? That other one? Well.
He's got a whole crew on his show. He should try to be on his podcast, the Leo and Danny show. It'd be awesome.
They did Invitation Goat versus Fish many verses ago. They should reach out again to Goat versus Fish. We'll reach out again. Tell Danny Mullins to have Goat versus Fish on the verses.
Tell Danny Mullen to have Goat versus Fish in the verses and try to get Danny Mullen a WillyTown.
Ah, that would be an interesting verses. We shall see next verses. 2042 celebration. Danny's Mullins, do not fear Goat versus Fish. Have Goat versus Fish on your verses. Have Goat versus Fish on your verses. Okay. We shall see you, chat. We'll see you next verses. We'll see you at the continuing streams of WillyTown Fest. The versus is about to get lit. Follow Glow Stick Willy, follow Glow Stick Willy. Celebration. Goat versus fish. Oh, and final verses. Because we're not doing a radiation adapted state celebration, what we want you all to do is the next stream that you go to, wherever you go, follow Goat vs. Fish on social media, retweet the posted tweet of Goat vs. Fish, retweet the posted tweet of Goat vs. Fish, wherever you go, on Twitch. The first versus you say is Goat vs. Fish. That means you Zeppelin Man. That means you adapt again. Say Goat vs. Fish, Celebration Rain Felicia. There's the links to Goat vs. Fish. The first versus you say is Goat vs. Fish. The first versus you say is Goat vs. Fish. In the next chat you go to, wherever it is, this is what's called a Goat vs. Fish style raid. The Goat vs. Fish style raid.
Got a raid?
No, we are telling them how to raid, because Goat vs. Fish we cannot raid from the mobile verse. But here, this is a Goat vs. Fish style radiation. The next chat that you go to, wherever it is, wherever the next chat you go to is, the next stream you go to, the first thing you say in chat is Goat vs. Fish, wherever you go.
Goat versus fish.
You say Goat vs. Fish. We'll see you soon. We shall see you soon. Celebration! Celebration!